In a world where success and betrayal walk hand in hand, one woman is about to embark on a journey that will test the very fabric of her existence. Meet Emily, a successful career woman whose life is turned upside down when she discovers her husband's affair with her younger colleague. As Emily delves deeper into the web of lies and deceit that surrounds her, she uncovers a world of corruption and betrayal lurking beneath the surface of her seemingly perfect life. But amidst the chaos and turmoil, Emily finds strength and resilience she never knew she possessed, emerging from the ashes of her past stronger and more determined than ever before. Join us on a journey of love, loss, and redemption in The Reckoning, where the ultimate price of betrayal is paid and the true meaning of forgiveness is revealed. Emily sat at her desk in her sleek corner office, the soft glow of her computer screen illuminating her determined expression. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, navigating through spreadsheets and emails with practiced efficiency. As a successful career woman, she prided herself on her ability to juggle the demands of her high-powered job and her personal life with grace and poise. But today, her carefully constructed world was about to unravel. A notification popped up in the corner of her screen, drawing her attention away from the financial reports she had been reviewing. It was an innocent-looking email, forwarded from her husband's account. Curiosity piqued. Emily clicked on it, expecting to find nothing more than the usual mundane correspondence. What she found instead was a betrayal beyond comprehension. Her heart plummeted as she read the intimate exchanges between her husband, David, and her younger colleague, Lisa. Words of affection and longing leapt off the screen, mocking the vows of fidelity Emily and David had exchanged on their wedding day. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as Emily grappled with the shocking revelation. She felt as though the ground had shifted beneath her feet, leaving her adrift in a sea of disbelief and hurt. With trembling hands, she scrolled through the damning evidence, each word carving deeper into her already wounded heart. How could David do this to her? And with Lisa, of all people, the same woman who had smiled in her face and shared in her triumphs at work. A wave of anger surged through Emily, fueling her resolve to confront the truth head-on. She slammed her laptop shut, the sound echoing through the silent office like a gunshot. The discovery of her husband's affair marked the beginning of Emily's journey towards reckoning, a journey that would test her strength, her resilience, and her very understanding of love and betrayal. The drive home felt endless, each passing mile weighing heavily on Emily's shoulders as she wrestled with the truth she had uncovered. The once familiar streets blurred together, a surreal backdrop to the storm raging within her. Pulling into the driveway of their suburban home, Emily took a deep breath, steeling herself for the confrontation that awaited her. With trembling hands, she reached for the door handle and stepped out into the cool evening air. The house was quiet as Emily entered, the only sound her own racing heartbeat echoing in the empty hallway. She found David in the living room, lounging on the couch with a book in hand, his expression serene and unsuspecting. "David," Emily's voice trembled as she spoke his name, the weight of her accusation heavy on her tongue. David looked up, his brow furrowing in confusion at the intensity of Emily's gaze. "Hey, what's wrong?" he asked, setting the book aside and rising to his feet. Without a word, Emily thrust the incriminating evidence into his hands, watching as his eyes widened in disbelief. She waited, her breath caught in her throat, as David's expression shifted from confusion to panic. "It's not what you think, Emily," David stammered, his voice cracking under the weight of his lies. "I swear, it's all just a misunderstanding." But Emily refused to be swayed by his feeble excuses. The betrayal cut deep, a wound that no amount of denial could heal. She saw through David's facade, recognizing the guilt that lurked behind his hollow words. Tears welled in Emily's eyes as she confronted the man she had once trusted with her heart. "How could you do this to me, David?" she whispered, her voice barely above a whisper. David's protests fell on deaf ears as Emily turned away, unable to bear the sight of the man who had shattered her world with his infidelity. In that moment, she knew that their marriage would never be the same, that the trust they had shared had been irreparably broken by his betrayal. The weight of David's betrayal hung heavy in the air as Emily retreated to the sanctuary of her bedroom, the silence of the house enveloping her like a suffocating blanket. Anger burned hot in her veins, fueling her determination to take control of her shattered life. Sitting at her vanity, Emily stared at her reflection in the mirror, her eyes dark with resolve. She knew that she couldn't let David and Lisa's betrayal go unpunished, that she needed to take matters into her own hands and seek the justice they so rightfully deserved. With a steely determination, Emily reached for her phone, her fingers flying across the screen as she began to devise her plan of retribution. She would start by gathering more evidence of David and Lisa's affair, building a case so irrefutable that even the most skilled liar would be unable to deny it. As the night stretched on, Emily delved deeper into the digital realm, scouring David's emails and text messages for any hint of his infidelity. Each piece of evidence she uncovered fueled her righteous anger, strengthening her resolve to expose the truth. But Emily knew that she couldn't rely solely on electronic evidence to bring David and Lisa to justice. She needed something more tangible, something that would leave no room for doubt in the minds of their friends and colleagues. With a sense of grim determination, Emily began to formulate a plan. She would gather proof of David and Lisa's affair, compiling a dossier of incriminating evidence that would rock their world to its core. And when the time was right, she would unleash her vengeance upon them, exposing their betrayal for all to see. As the first light of dawn crept through the curtains, Emily finally allowed herself to succumb to sleep, her mind buzzing with the possibilities of what lay ahead. For the first time since discovering David's infidelity, she felt a glimmer of hope, a sense of empowerment that she hadn't felt in far too long. The decision to seek revenge had been made, and Emily was ready to unleash the full force of her wrath upon those who had wronged her. Armed with determination and a burning desire for justice, Emily delved deeper into the tangled web of deceit that surrounded her. With each new piece of evidence she uncovered, the truth became clearer, and the depths of David and Lisa's betrayal grew more apparent. As she sifted through David's emails and text messages, Emily discovered a pattern of lies and deception that stretched back months, revealing the true extent of his affair with Lisa. But it wasn't just David's infidelity that shocked her. It was the calculated way in which Lisa had manipulated both him and Emily, playing them against each other for her own selfish gain. The more Emily unearthed, the more she began to see the corrupt dynamics that permeated their social circle. Behind the facade of friendship and camaraderie lay a cesspool of envy, jealousy, and betrayal, with Lisa at its toxic center. But Emily refused to be intimidated by the ugliness she uncovered. Instead, she saw it as an opportunity, a chance to expose the truth and bring an end to the cycle of deceit that had ensnared them all. Armed with her newfound knowledge, Emily began to reach out to those closest to David and Lisa, subtly probing for information and planting seeds of doubt in their minds. Slowly but surely, she began to chip away at the walls of secrecy that had protected her husband's affair, laying the groundwork for her ultimate reckoning. With each revelation, Emily's resolve strengthened, fueled by the knowledge that she was not alone in her fight against injustice. Together with her allies, she would expose the truth and bring David and Lisa to their knees, no matter the cost. As the unraveling of their carefully constructed lies gathered momentum, Emily felt a sense of vindication wash over her, a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos that threatened to consume her. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but Emily knew that she was more than capable of facing whatever challenges lay in her path. With the evidence of David and Lisa's betrayal firmly in hand, Emily knew that it was time to put her plan into action. Sitting at her kitchen table, surrounded by the soft glow of her laptop screen and the reassuring presence of her trusted allies, she began to map out her strategy. First and foremost, Emily knew that she needed to gather more concrete evidence to bolster her case against David and Lisa. With the help of her allies, she formulated a plan to discreetly gather photographic and video evidence of the couple's illicit rendezvous, ensuring that there would be no room for doubt in the minds of their friends and colleagues. But Emily's plan went beyond mere exposure. She was determined to humiliate David and Lisa publicly, to make them suffer for the pain they had caused her. With the help of her allies, she began to brainstorm creative ways to disseminate the incriminating evidence, ensuring that it would reach every corner of their social circle. As they worked late into the night, fueled by adrenaline and righteous anger, Emily felt a sense of camaraderie and solidarity that she hadn't experienced in years. These were not just allies, they were friends, bound together by a shared sense of disillusionment with the hypocrisy and deceit that had permeated their social circle. With their plan firmly in place, Emily and her allies set their sights on the coming days, knowing that the reckoning they had planned would change their lives forever. As they prepared to unleash the full force of their vengeance upon David and Lisa, Emily felt a sense of satisfaction wash over her, a quiet confidence born of the knowledge that justice was finally within reach. As the first rays of dawn broke through the darkness, Emily felt a surge of adrenaline course through her veins. The time had come to set her plan into motion, to expose the truth and bring David and Lisa's betrayal out into the open. With careful precision, Emily began to leak incriminating evidence to select members of their social circle, ensuring that word of David and Lisa's affair spread like wildfire. She watched with satisfaction as shock and outrage rippled through their tightly knit community, exposing the cracks in their carefully constructed facade. But Emily didn't stop there. With the help of her allies, she orchestrated confrontations between David, Lisa, and those they had wronged, forcing them to confront the consequences of their actions head-on. Secrets were revealed, alliances shifted, and loyalties were tested as the truth came to light. As the drama unfolded, Emily stood at the center of it all, a silent but powerful force driving the reckoning forward. She watched with satisfaction as David and Lisa's carefully constructed world crumbled around them, their lies laid bare for all to see. But amidst the chaos and upheaval, Emily couldn't help but feel a twinge of sadness. She had sought justice for the pain they had caused her, but in the process, she had become a part of the very toxicity she had sought to destroy. As the dust began to settle, Emily made a vow to herself to rebuild her life on her own terms, free from the shackles of deceit and betrayal. The road ahead would be long and uncertain, but Emily knew that she was stronger now than she had ever been before. With her head held high and her heart full of resolve, Emily stepped into the light of a new day, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. The revelations of the past had set her free, and she was determined to seize the future with both hands. The air crackled with tension as Emily stood face to face with David and Lisa, the weight of their betrayal hanging heavy in the air between them. This was the moment she had been waiting for, the climax of her carefully orchestrated plan, where truths would be laid bare and justice would finally be served. With a steely resolve, Emily locked eyes with her husband, his expression a mixture of guilt and defiance. "David," she began, her voice cold and unwavering, "it's time to face the consequences of your actions." David's jaw tightened, his fists clenching at his sides as he struggled to find the words to defend himself. But Emily would not be swayed by his feeble attempts at denial. She had seen the evidence with her own eyes, and she knew the truth of his betrayal. Turning her gaze to Lisa, Emily felt a surge of anger wash over her at the sight of the woman who had insinuated herself into her life, poisoning her marriage from within. "And you," she spat, her voice dripping with venom, "you thought you could manipulate us all for your own selfish gain." Lisa's facade of confidence faltered, her eyes darting nervously as she searched for a way to escape the consequences of her actions. But there was no escaping the reckoning that Emily had brought upon them. As the tension reached its breaking point, emotions boiled over, and the truth spilled out in a torrent of accusations and recriminations. Tears flowed freely, voices rose in anger, and the weight of their betrayal came crashing down on them with a force that left them reeling. But amidst the chaos and turmoil, Emily remained resolute, her gaze steady and unwavering as she confronted the demons that had haunted her marriage. In that moment of confrontation, she found a sense of closure, a clarity that had eluded her for so long. For better or for worse, the truth had been laid bare, and Emily was finally free to move forward, leaving behind the wreckage of her past and embracing the promise of a brighter tomorrow. With the dust settled and the truth finally laid bare, Emily found herself standing on the precipice of a new beginning. The weight of David and Lisa's betrayal no longer bore down on her shoulders, replaced instead by a sense of liberation and newfound strength. In the days and weeks that followed the confrontation, Emily allowed herself to grieve for the life she had lost, the marriage that had crumbled beneath the weight of lies and deceit. But with each passing day, she felt a renewed sense of determination grow within her, a determination to rebuild her life on her own terms, free from the toxicity of her past. Surrounded by the unwavering support of her friends and allies, Emily began to chart a course for her future, seizing the opportunities that lay before her with a newfound sense of purpose. She threw herself into her work, finding solace and fulfillment in the challenges that awaited her each day. But it wasn't just her career that flourished in the wake of the reckoning. It was Emily herself. Freed from the constraints of her failed marriage, she rediscovered passions and interests long forgotten, embracing the opportunity to explore new avenues and pursue her dreams with a renewed sense of vigor. As the months turned into years, Emily emerged from the shadow of her past stronger and more resilient than ever before. The scars of betrayal remained, but they served as a reminder of the strength and resilience that lay within her, a testament to her ability to overcome even the greatest of obstacles. With her head held high and her heart full of hope, Emily stepped boldly into the future, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. The road ahead would be long and uncertain, but she faced it with a sense of empowerment, a confidence born of the knowledge that she had confronted her demons and emerged victorious on the other side. As the chaos of the past finally began to fade into memory, Emily found herself drawn to moments of quiet reflection, moments where she could pause and contemplate the lessons learned from her ordeal and the path that lay ahead. Sitting alone in her favorite spot by the window, Emily allowed her thoughts to drift back to the tumultuous journey that had brought her to this moment. She thought of the pain and heartache she had endured, and the strength and resilience she had discovered within herself along the way. But amidst the darkness, Emily also found glimmers of light, moments of grace and forgiveness that had illuminated her path and guided her toward healing. She thought of the friends and allies who had stood by her side through the darkest of times, offering their unwavering support and love when she needed it most. Most of all, Emily reflected on the true meaning of forgiveness and redemption, the power to let go of the past and embrace the promise of a brighter tomorrow. She realized that forgiveness was not about absolving others of their wrongdoing, but about freeing herself from the chains of anger and resentment that had bound her for so long. With a sense of clarity and purpose, Emily looked toward the future with hope and determination. She knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but she faced it with a renewed sense of authenticity, a commitment to living her life on her own terms, free from the expectations and judgments of others. As she watched the sun dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the room, Emily felt a sense of peace settle over her, a peace born of the knowledge that she had confronted her demons and emerged stronger on the other side. With a smile on her face and a heart full of hope, she embraced the promise of a new day, ready to seize whatever opportunities lay ahead. The sun rose on a new day, casting its golden light across the city as Emily stepped out into the world, her head held high and her heart full of hope. The scars of her past lay behind her, mere reminders of the strength and resilience that had carried her through the darkest of times. As she walked down the bustling streets, Emily felt a newfound sense of freedom wash over her, a freedom born of the knowledge that she was no longer bound by the chains of her past. She walked with purpose and determination, eager to embrace the endless possibilities that lay before her. Gone was the uncertainty and doubt that had plagued her for so long, replaced instead by a quiet confidence and self-assurance that radiated from within. Emily had faced her demons and emerged victorious, stronger and more resilient than ever before. With each step she took, Emily felt the weight of the world lift from her shoulders, replaced instead by a sense of lightness and joy that she had long forgotten. She laughed more freely, loved more deeply, and lived more fully, embracing each moment with a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the gift of life. As she looked toward the future, Emily knew that the road ahead would not always be easy, but she faced it with a sense of courage and optimism that filled her with excitement. She was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in her ability to overcome whatever obstacles came her way. And as she walked into the sunset, surrounded by the warmth and love of her friends and allies, Emily knew that no matter what the future held, she would face it with grace and dignity, secure in the knowledge that she was the author of her own destiny.